Well, hello everybody. Here we are with another episode of Seize Your Business. Today our guest is Tom Kastner. Tom is a M&A professional with Woodbridge, and we're going to talk today about kind of preparing for the sale of your business. And one of the things I heard once upon a time that I'm going to ask Tom to comment about is to find out if an owner is really ready to sell. You always want to ask them, what are they going to do next? Because if they don't have a plan, they may not be that committed to the business. So, Tom, what do you comment on that statement? Agree, disagree? What?
Sure. Well, first, thanks a lot for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's our pleasure.
Thanks for being here, Tom.
And certainly, it helps to have a plan, absolutely, because the process, whether it's quick or it takes a little longer than planned, can be a lot of work. And so it definitely helps if an owner has a goal besides just not going to work anymore. We certainly try to ask that, but we also try to make sure that the owner has thought it out pretty carefully.
What types of goals do you hear from owners other than not going to work anymore and making a lot of money off of a sale?
Sure. Well, retirement is pretty popular. Perhaps they already have a place in Florida or out west somewhere, or they have plans to spend more time with the grandkids or with the kids, or they're planning a second career of some sort.
Okay. So take us through the process kind of step by step. If I decide today that, maybe in 5 years I think I'm going to want to sell my business, how do I get started?
Yeah, so it is best to prepare as early as possible. In fact, there's a lot of people today who start preparing before they even start the company, as a matter of fact. But just as if you were going to sell your home or something like that, you wouldn't just put your home out on the market. You mow the lawn and
get the granite countertops and stuff.
Exactly. Clean it up a little bit, and that's what we with any business, it's the same sort of idea that whether it's legal planning, financial planning, personal wealth planning, or speaking with an investment banker or business broker, about what to work on with the business, what are some of the risks, what are some of the attractive aspects of the business. It's always best to plan ahead.
So do you guys, are you guys business brokers, or do you just consult with people to prepare their business for sale?
So, there's business brokers and there's intermediaries and investment banking. And so it pretty much runs the gamut from Main Street, which is more business broker, your gas stations and your dry cleaners and so on. Generally, that's businesses under, say, $1 million or so in revenue. And then somewhere around $1 million to $5 million or so in revenue or deal size, we would call ourselves intermediaries. And then somewhere around $5 million or so deal size, then they're more commonly referred to as investment bankers. And okay. So at Woodbridge, we consider ourselves investment bankers, generally working on deals estimated to be $5 million in deal size and above.
Okay. So I assume a lot of people with a $5 million company have a lot of their ducks in a row before they come to you. But
well, you'd be surprised.
So if I come to you and say, listen, Tom, I'm looking to sell my company. I don't have any systems in place. Mm-hmm. I don't have, maybe I haven't done my corporate meeting minutes for the past, 5 years. And I'm really disorganized. How do you coach me into getting things ready to actually sell?
Yeah, sure. So, we've been through it before. We've seen what buyers look for. What are some of the pitfalls and risk factors? No matter how much you prepare, every business has risk factors. And some of them you can start to work on. Some of them, there's nothing you can do, but at least you can explain them and have them the issues properly documented.
So what are some risk factors that you commonly see?
Yeah, sure. So the biggest risk factors are really customer concentration. You see that a lot, big companies or small.
Does that mean all of our business comes from this one customer, basically?
Yeah. And generally, all buyers are different, but buyers start to get nervous at around 20% of sales.
Okay.
And then we've sold businesses with 90% of sales to one customer. You just have to plan for it and adjust for it. So customer concentration is a biggie. Key person risk. If the owner is too involved in the business and the business revolves around the owner too much, that's a big risk.
So one of the things you can do to prepare your business for sale is probably start to create systems and make it so that the business can run without you.
That's right. A lot of people will eventually start to hire a larger management team, better prepared management team, and we have clients who take off 6-10 weeks or even more during the winter, move to Florida. That's a pretty good indication that the business can run itself without the owner being there every day. And then there's other owners who have to be there 60, 80 hours a week, or they don't think it'll run.
So, Tom, let me ask this question. In my life experience, I've bought a lot of different things. I bought a couple houses. I bought a lot of cars. I used to speculate on cars, and it seems like of all the things I've bought or talked to people about buying it seems like the business owner has the most inflated sense of the value relative to anything else.
Sure.
What can you give us any guidelines of, what are valuations at like today, especially for, like some of these more privately held companies, EBITDA doesn't always tell the story.
Well, so it is very much true that I'd say 80-90% of business owners have a higher expectation of value than what the market is generally at.
Support. Yeah.
So the vast majority have a higher expectation. So of course that's part of our process is to talk to them about the market. Some owners are very, very well educated on that fact. But in general, businesses are valued either as a multiple of EBITDA, multiple of earnings.
Can you explain what EBITDA means?
Yeah, sure. So EBITDA is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It's really a fancy way of saying adjusted cash flow.
Okay.
And so it's one valuation method. Often people also look at assets, and then we often adjust EBITDA for things like owner's compensation, other personal expenses, to sort of true up what the earnings really are.
Sure. So if the cash flow is looking low because the owner's, basically taking a lot out of the company for themselves, you can adjust that upward.
We would adjust their compensation for a market rate.
Okay. And is it 3 years of EBITDA that you look at to value a company?
All companies are different, and if you asked 10 people, you probably get 10 different evaluations. So generally we speak in ranges. Say 4 to 5 times EBITDA for some businesses. If they're growing faster or they're in kind of a hot area, maybe it's 6, 7, 8 times. In some sectors, you even talk about 2, 3, 4 times revenue.
Okay.
So it really depends on the sector and the business.
And is it also fair, Tom, to try to understand what the buyer is actually buying in terms of a going concern business that they intend to operate, or it could be a technology, it could be entrance to a market where there's high barriers to entry. There's a lot of variables, right?
Absolutely, and that's why that's really where we come in, not only to showcase the business, but also to try to get it out to as many potential buyers as possible, because sometimes the worst offers you get are from the guys just down the street or people in your own industry. And sometimes the best offers you get are from people who are so-called, say, wannabes, people who have a strategic interest in your industry, in your geography, in your products, and they're close enough so there's a fit, but they're not so close that they don't know you too well.
Yeah, right. So what? I'm sure you've probably had some deals that went smooth and some deals that were maybe more problematic. What kinds of things go wrong, or what impedes the smooth closing of the business?
Yeah. No, the biggest thing. So really, the biggest reason why any deals do not get done or don't get completed are that the earnings do not meet expectations or begin to fall below projections. So that's by far the number one reason. The other reasons, things come up in due diligence that aren't expected. So of course that goes back to being prepared and having people review your business before you go to market. Also, just not being able to react quickly enough to questions or not having proper financial reporting is another big thing. Now, I mean, sometimes the economy goes sideways or something happens out in the world, but by far it's earnings.
Okay, so seeing some sort of disruption to the earnings as the owner is maybe losing interest or focusing on other things, or just something happening in the marketplace.
Well, I think, especially for a number of years here, we've had a bit of a choppy economy. So most people, before they go to market, they want to see that their business has 2 or 3 years of earnings, and then it takes a while to prepare to go to market, and then we're in market, and then so for a lot of companies to ask for them to consistently grow revenues and earnings for 3 or 4 years, it's been a little difficult in this environment.
Yeah. You just made me think of something. You just helped me invent something.
I want a piece of action.
Yeah, when we talk to business owners, we could say, like, what are your earnings and what are your yearnings? Like the money they wish they were making. That would probably be
Sure.
We could market it 3 times yearnings. No,
Well,
I'm just teasing,
I
but
think,
it is a good point.
Well, I think a lot of what we do to help prepare companies go to market can help the business in general anyway. So whether you're looking 5 years out or 3 years out or even 10 years out, it's generally good practices to have with the business anyway, and can really point out some of the aspects of the business that are either risks or might not be so attractive to buyers.
Yeah. Can you share with us? I know we won't talk specifics, but sort of generally a story of a business closing or a business that was hard to sell and how you packaged it, or what would be like kind of just one of the more interesting things you've encountered in your career?
Yeah, sure. So, don't want to talk too specific, name names,
of course,
things like that. But, we've had, say, owners have health issues or even pass away, and then, families taking over, and then, but, still got through it. So, that sort of speaks a bit to being properly prepared, but also making sure to go out to a wide range of buyers. So if something happens with the business and that turns off the first or second buyer, well, you still have backups.
Got it.
Can you explain the due diligence process a little bit to people, and what that looks like, and what sort of diligence that the buyers actually do in that process?
Sure. Well, that's, again, another reason why we try to prepare our clients before going to market, because you're all happy you signed a letter of intent, you're going to get a lot of money, and then you get just about the next thing you get is a due diligence request list, which can be 18 or 20 pages. You're like, oh my God, wow, who's going to do this?
Yeah.
You're going to do it. So if we've already gone through a sample due diligence list with the owner and their team, and we've already populated a data room with 75% or more of the documents, that at least makes the first steps very easy, or relatively easy. Due diligence can still be a very onerous process, and we do find that again, in this environment that we're in now since 08 or so, the due diligence does seem to be tougher and tougher. But again, properly preparing, and then having the systems in place as far as financial reporting, having a good management team, so you can respond to any questions or requests for information, is not only it makes you look better, but it helps the process move more quickly and smoothly.
So if someone's looking to buy or sell a business, or would like some advice on the topic, how can they reach you?
Oh, absolutely. So, our website is well, you can Google Woodbridge International,
Okay.
and we're right at the top. The website is woodbridgegrp.com,
Okay.
and always happy to talk.
And your cell phone or phone number?
Yeah, sure. Phone number, my personal phone number at the office is 847-431-3993.
Okay. Kevin, if somebody needs legal counsel, how can they get a hold of you?
You can reach me at my law firm, O'Flaherty Law. We do just about everything. My phone number is 630-324-6666. Calling me is the easiest way to schedule a free consultation. If you want to download podcast episodes, either in audio or video form, or get information on our guests, that'll be on seizeyourbusiness.com. And Jim, how can you be reached?
Yeah, easiest way is just call me, 630-272-3895, and just talk to me about what's going on in your business or your career. If I can't help you, I probably know somebody who can.
And for first-time listeners, Jim, I don't think you ever told everybody what you do.
Well, I do business coaching and consulting primarily. I also do some comedy training for business. You can find some details on that at improv-4-business.com. And it's amazing how people become more comfortable after a little training today.
Well, thanks, Tom. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, super.